All right, we're flowing.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
Good day to
afternoon.
you.
Good day to you. Liking the new setup. I'm liking the nature
Yeah, we'll see.
background.
I did it for the webinar and I kind of
Uh-huh.
liked it. It's much more comfortable for me. I'm not sitting on a boy band stool. I
Oh,
can sit in a real chair.
like a big boy.
Yeah, exactly. Not in a high chair.
All right. Well, you have your kitty behind you. For those who are watching, I have my Gigi next to me, looking at me longingly, and because we did not go for our walk this morning, and I just said the word walk, and oh yeah,
Oh
she's
boy,
all
got her
perked
ears
up,
perked up.
all perked up.
It's like when you say, "Hey Siri."
Yes.
Oh, see, my phone just went.
Yep. And so did my, oh no, my phone didn't. My Alexa's blinking at me though. Words matter,
They do.
right? Words matter. Words are extremely powerful. This is actually a great roll in right to yesterday. We had State of the Company for the Align team, the real estate company that I'm with, and they announced me as head coach. And I was given my little chat to everyone on Zoom, and there were a few people in the room. And I wasn't really looking at the people in the room because I'm on Zoom. So I'm trying to look in at all the people that were in electronically. And I'm telling my story, right? Bits and pieces of it. I would call it strategic authenticity on that. And of course, the Alexander story of when he put his little hands on each side of my face and turned my face and said, "Mommy, can you look at me?" We won't go into that whole story right now, but that was the one thing that stopped me dead in my tracks. And as I'm telling that story, a story that I used to not be able to tell without crying, now it's still emotionally packed for me, but it's not emotionally charged. I can
Yeah.
say it with power. I hear, I won't say the name, but like, "Oh, you just made so and so's crying." And I look over and there is, top performing agent, two, they've two boys, I think they have, um, husbands in that business as well. And, she's just a powerhouse of a woman. And I look over and she is just tears streaming down her face. And I had Larry the lobster with me, and we talked about struggle and growth and all of that. And of course, I finish up and I go over and I hug her and I gave her my Larry the lobster. And it's just a testament to whatever you're speaking out into the world, whether you're looking around you or not, it is impacting people.
Oh yeah.
And if your goal is to impact in a positive way, just know whether you're getting that feedback, like I got visceral feedback once I looked over, it was brought to my attention. But that was going to happen regardless, whether she was sitting in that room or watching on the screen. I was having that impact, and we have responsibility for the impact that we put in the world. So
Yeah.
just it was a powerful moment. And when I was hugging her before we left, she had said like, "I'm one of those, I'm that stupid mom that's still on a business call at 7 o'clock at night." I'm like, "You're not a stupid mom." And just, it's just the reminder of the work that we do, and how much we beat ourselves up, and how from the outside we look at people like, wow, they're so successful. They've got it all together. They're doing all these things. And we are all just carrying guilt and shame and weight. And the famous, which we'll roll into more today, is that I will do X when I achieve X. I will be happy
Yeah.
when I do this. I
It's
will, yeah.
No, I was gonna say, it's so funny you're saying that because that's literally what I wanted to talk about today. I was listening to Chris Williamson and Arthur Brooks. I had a long drive to play soccer yesterday, get there, and the other team had forfeited and not shown up. So I had to drive 40 minutes back. So I listened to most of that podcast then. And they were talking, I forget the name of it, but they called it the something fallacy.
Mm,
And Chris was saying, I've tried to talk about this in my live shows and it just doesn't seem to land.
yeah.
And he talked to Mark Manson about it. For those who aren't familiar with him, he's a guy who wrote the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck,
Hmm.
which is a very very popular self help book. And he said, "Yeah, I've tried talking about it too, and people just don't want to hear it. And it's that fallacy of I'm going to feel this when I achieve this, or when I
Yes.
get to this place, things will be better. And the truth is, it doesn't. It's not true. And the game that we're playing in society is that those of us who achieve the thing don't want to then have to say, well, actually, this doesn't mean jack shit. So I'm going to keep pretending that this is the thing that you need to get to.
Yeah.
When in reality, like to your point, they're probably crumbling inside. Their health isn't great. They're struggling with this guilt, with this shame, and all of that. So it's just this game that we're playing that we need to collectively snap out of and stop thinking that this journey we're trying to be on, it's not going to change who you are or how you feel.
Right.
He gave an example, Arthur Brooks, of he was having lunch with a friend of his who had a New York Times #1 bestseller. And he said, I can tell you right now, it means nothing. And
Mm.
Arthur Brooks is an author. And he said, well, can you let me try once? And he goes, that's exactly my point. Anyone could be #1. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So we have to get out of this game.
It is a game. It's a game we play with ourselves, and then it's disguised as it's disguised as a lot. It's disguised as like responsibility, or like this is
Yeah.
the responsible thing to go do. I'm not gonna celebrate until I've actually earned it, or I've achieved it. And the problem is that we're telling ourselves that happiness is not now, here in the present. Happiness is in the future. We're telling ourselves that, like, I'll put the bathing suit on and get in the pool in front of people when I've lost, 25 pounds. That I had that mindset, right? But the problem is I'm telling myself that my body right now is not worthy,
Yeah.
right? And so, and it's a moving goalpost. It's constantly, you never achieve that. I'm going to spend time with my kids when I, you know, hit X in my business, because I'm doing this for my kids, right? I'm doing this for them. They might not understand it now. I'm not spending time with them now, and I'm spending time in my business so that I can make enough money so that I can have time for them. Like, and I live that. I think we've all lived that in some way, shape, or form. And that's one of the most like dangerous, and that's just like the most heart-wrenching things for me.
Yeah.
Like, our kids are not asking us to quit our business. Our kids are just asking us to be present where we are at the moment. And this I'll do it when mindset, that we make it feel like that's the responsible thing to do, this delayed gratification, because society, wants to make it like we're bad if we want things, or that we get some gratification, or we're on our phones because it's instant gratification,
Yeah.
these little dopamine hits. And then we go to the flip side of like, I have to work so hard in order to earn this thing if I want to truly like live it and celebrate it. So there's tools come out. I think that I'm going to do probably a little video on it, because I really want to bring some strategic step process to it, but I wanted to highlight it today on the pod. So
Yeah.
like, ask yourself, and if you're like, oh, I don't do that, I want you to have a little bit of heightened awareness around it, and wait till you hear yourself say or think, I'll do that when, I'll relax when, I'll spend time with this person when, I'll be happy when, I'll feel like I've made it when, I'll be respected when, like all this
Yeah.
stuff. Just our environments, social media, how we're raised, it all really supports that type of mindset. But it's, to me, one of the most dangerous things that we can do in our entire life.
Oh, definitely. And the whole thing of being, I'm that terrible mom who's taking a business call at 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to stop putting these kind of like artificial, I don't even know what you call it. I guess a parameter of
Yeah.
who says that work has to be from this hour to this hour.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, if you're going to be truly happy doing the work that you do,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Refkin, who's the CEO of Compass, he often talks about this work-life harmony. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a balance. If you can take 2 hours to go to your kid's school, do one of their activities, but then have to do 2 hours of work in the evening,
Yeah.
that to me is healthier than missing the school thing and just being at home while they're sat playing Xbox or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's this idea that we have to keep work and real life separate.
Yeah.
I I can attest to that. It's so much better when it's just your life.
Yeah.
You have some work, you have some family time, social time. It's just your life instead
Hmm.
of separating it. And we've talked about this before. We just put these expectations on ourselves to be this perfect person of always attentive, always in the in the present moment. There's always going to be things we're thinking about, and it's okay to spend a Sunday afternoon doing some work.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I think what you're speaking about is like something that I would label as like ideal norms or societal norms that
Mhm.
I think if we actually really looked at it, it would look much more abnormal than somehow our brains still get stuck back in almost that traditional, like that 9 to 5. The woman's at home, the man's out working. As much as we've grown from that, we tend to place everything that feels normal on that type of lifestyle. And like you said, like if you're a dad or a working mom or a working dad, and you're able to go volunteer at school for 2 hours and then drive your kid home or walk home from school and spend 30 minutes of just chill time, but that means that you're on the computer from 7 to 9 and someone else is putting the kids to bed or whatever it might be. Like that's a beautiful thing, but
Yeah.
we feel like we're shunning the norms or we're going against a tide when really we're not. We're just designing the life that we want to live. The danger there is when you are not there is not a balance or a harmony, because I agree there is no balance. That harmony is not there. And that could mean like maybe you're heavy in work for a couple days. Maybe you're traveling for work
Right.
for a week or two. There's no way to have a harmony there. Yeah, you can do FaceTime calls, you can do little check-ins, but the point is that you know that you have time blocked out 1 or 2 full days or 2 half days or whatever you can work into your schedule when you get back to counterbalance back into, okay, I'm going to eat dinner with my family those 2 following nights when I get home. I'm going to
Right.
shut down the computer at 7 or whatever it might be. The challenge then becomes your identity and your worth. And when you go, well, my clients only I'm only valuable to my clients because I do go above and beyond and I answer the phone at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, right? And that's why my clients want to work with me. That's bullshit, right? That this is the stories that we tell ourselves to make
Yeah.
ourselves feel better for doing things that we don't actually want to do, or thinking that we're doing something differently than the other person doing. So that gives us some kind of safety that our clients won't leave us and go to them. There's always going to be someone that is willing to work later, work longer, say no to their kids' games, to their own personal self care, to go for the client, because the client equals money and the money equals being able to take care of their family. And their whole purpose is to be here to support their family. And then they say no to their family because they have to go and do this other thing. But once I achieve this other thing, then I'm going to spend time with you, family. And oh, by the way, your 10-year-old that was playing soccer is now 15 years old and getting their driver's license and no longer playing soccer, and you've lost all those opportunities to go see the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. And
It's the vicious cycle.
the the danger is when we start putting importance on material things, or the peacocking, the social status,
Mhm.
when you're sacrificing family time to make the money that will support that stuff.
Mhm.
That's where the you fall into that trap of, oh man, I'm missing all these sports games, what, so I can drive the range.
Mhm.
Like that's the trap you can fall into, and that's where sometimes the guilt and the shame comes into. But I think
Yeah.
as long as you're prioritizing, family is always the North Star,
Mhm.
like truly family, not, like I said, not the material stuff, not the status. Men and women will figure out a way of being able to work and being able to be present at home.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But you just, as long as that's the North Star.
1,000,000%. And just adding to that is, I think we're both here while we're not focused on the material thing. I know for sure. I'm like, it's both. It's not an either or. It's not I can either have family or I can have these other things that I want, right? Like
Right.
you can absolutely have both. There is nothing wrong with with wanting more or wanting both, but we have to really ask ourselves, what is the motivation underneath it? What are we saying no to when we're saying yes to something else? Does that align with our core values? Do we even know what our core values are? Right? Maybe we need to
Yeah.
just like sit down and like reset on what's important. What do we believe is important? Not what someone else told us was important. Not even what our spouse or significant other is telling us is the most important. Yes, those need to be considered, but you really need to look at what is important to you and then look at how that aligns with what's important to the people in your life.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're really ever going to use that as a filter in a decision making and really live that is if you've authored it and you fully own it. And give it a check every once in a while. Do I still believe this? Has this
Yeah.
morphed into something else? Have this grown? Have I gotten clarity around something, with this, where I used to kind of feel it was this, but now I've discovered it's actually this.
Yeah. I
So
like that. Auditing, I think we do get so caught up in just the the tailwinds just kind of carry us. We're like this journey that we started on to, I don't know, have this nice house, and then we joined a country club.
mm,
The reason I'm thinking of this is that we watched the show Your Friends and Neighbors.
mhm.
You watched that yet?
Yeah, I started it.
Awesome. It's one of my top three shows. I love it.
Yeah.
But just his kind of realization of like, what did I do this all for?
Yes.
Like, I forgot at the heart of it why I'm doing all of this.
It's
And
so
again,
good.
it's okay to want those things and to have those
Mhm,
things. But if you're sacrificing your family or you're
mhm.
sacrificing things that align with your mission in life and your
Yeah.
purpose, that's where it gets dicey.
It's hard
And
to
I'm,
see in the moment, right? It's especially if you're kind of running on Lonely Island or you're running with people that are doing the same thing, and there's no one really
yeah,
to kind of hold up the mirror. And like that's okay. It's okay if you can't see it in the moment, right? Well, there's the analogy of like if I'm inside a glass and there's a label on the outside of the glass, I'm only seeing it backwards. But if you're looking at me in the glass, you can read what the label says pretty clearly. So
yeah,
if I can at least be open to hearing what you have to say about what that glass says, there's a chance that I can be kind of checking myself. So there's no guilt or shame, right? There's no guilt or shame in what has brought you to this moment right now, but there's an opportunity to go and say, okay, whew, I got caught up in all this. Is this actually really what I want?
yeah,
And that friends and neighbors just reminded like when he pulls up to his old huge mansion
yeah,
and his, ex best friend who's now with his wife, comes out and invites him into, for a barbecue. He's like, no, I don't want to come into my old fucking house and have
yeah,
a steak you cooked me on my barbecue. How many times do relationships end and you hear, or as they're ending, people are like, how did we get here?
yeah.
Right? How did we go from X to to where we
Well,
are
really,
right
X
now?
should be at the end there. How do we go from Y to
Y
X?
to
You know?
X. And it's sometimes it's a very severe, significant event that happens, but most of the time it's just consistent little digs and
Hmm.
holes that are never repaired, are never refilled, are never looked at, and it's just an erosion over time. And because it's not one thing that can be pointed to, it's like, well, I can't just, if it was one thing, you're like, okay, we focus on that one thing and we fix that one thing and we're back.
Yeah,
But when it's all this like little bit of erosion over and over and over and over and over again, it feels overwhelming. It feels like you can't put your finger on what it was. It's not just one thing, it's 100 things. And people give up because it's gone too
yeah,
far.
yeah. And on this topic, something that's been on my mind recently is I'm concerned with the 5-10 year trend of folks who go on these on GLP-1s or Retire when it
Mm,
comes out, and to our point here, they'll lose the weight and then still not love themselves because they haven't worked on that part.
Yeah.
They thought it was because that they had more weight than they thought,
Yeah.
that's why, when I lose this weight, I'll feel better.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking from a health perspective
Sure.
because, you know, gaining weight isn't a symptom of metabolic dysfunction, but just purely from an aesthetics thing. If you put that much emphasis on how you look
Hmm.
and don't focus on just truly loving yourself, you're going to have a hard time when all of a sudden you look how you thought you wanted to look and you still don't like yourself.
Yeah.
And I think
Mm,
people
with the
need to
eating
really, really
disorders.
think about that. And this comes from someone who I really care about how I look and
Hmm.
how people perceive how I look. But I know truly that I love myself, and it doesn't truly matter. And I've been there. I lost a couple years before I knew you. I went down to like 148. I got really, really lean,
Mm.
and I hated it. I look back now, I look ridiculously skinny.
Hmm.
And on the flip side of that, I'm now more muscular than I've ever been. I put on about 30 pounds of muscle, and there's some fat in there too. Had to compromise. I'm not so shredded anymore. But hey, who cares? You know, it, if you love who you are as a person and don't focus on the exterior,
Yeah.
you'll be much happier. And again, I do worry that it's a lot of people going to have that realization of, oh shit, I thought I'd feel better about myself if I lost that 20 pounds, and now I've lost it. Maybe I need to lose another 20. And you're going to
Right.
see, I think you will see some, it's like plastic surgery, right? You end up looking like Michael Jackson.
Yeah. It's all about, it's like people that win the lottery, right? And then they lose the money very quickly. Like if you
Yeah.
don't have the habits in place that make you a physically fit, at the weight level that you want person, and you achieve it some other way, it's going to be very hard to maintain it. If you're not a person
Yeah.
who has the habits of how to bring in money and how to facilitate money, it's going to be very hard to manage and facilitate a big chunk of money coming in because you don't have those habits. If we're wrapping up, it's a quick episode today. I think I just want a reminder, and maybe this is my Gary V coming out, is like, we're not, it's like that. Oh, I actually don't even like this adage, like life is not a dress rehearsal. It annoys me for some weird reason, but I'm about to say something that means exactly that. Like, your life is now. Like, you are
Yeah.
worthy now. There's nothing to be waiting for. Is there more? Is there more growth? Is there future data that's gonna come in? Like, yes, but you must start living now and live in a way that's intentional, live in a way of like what you want. Like, that's okay. What you want is okay. And
Yeah.
you don't have to earn it, for God's sake. Like, if you grew up in a household where love was given only when you did well in school, or only when you did well in a soccer event, or only when you did well at whatever extracurricular you were doing, like, I, my heart is like, oof, that's tough. But like, that trauma doesn't heal just by reliving it over and over again. That trauma
No.
heals by being around good, safe people and having good, safe interactions, and enough positive things that you're like, okay, this is safe. This is okay. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am things. And you are. You are
Yeah.
all of those things. And it just a matter of when you're going to say, like, okay, this starts now. This starts now. This crap that I've been holding on to, you don't have to go through some major therapy. Maybe you do. You don't have to go into whatever, but you can make a decision right now. This thing that I've been holding on to that is 1,000,000% not serving me. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to move forward, but I am saying today I release this,
Yeah.
and do one little thing that supports that. One little tiny thing that supports that.
Do it.
Even if it scares the living daylights out of you, just do
Well,
it.
and to that point, I speak to so many people who have achieved great things that always say that they are so glad they made that step,
Mm,
even when it was the most scary time to do it.
yeah.
And I'm probably guilty of not making certain steps for that reason too.
Hmm.
So I completely relate. And
Yeah.
again, we talk from a position of being on the ground floor with you. We're not sitting on a perch telling you guys how to live. We deal with this, we practice what we preach. But
Even the
just
language, right? Like I'm guilty. I'm probably guilty of that. Like we just use guilty, shame, disappointed, like all, we
yeah,
like we view it as we're taking ownership, but like man, we are hard on ourselves.
yeah,
So let's be a little gentler on ourselves. And I don't know, you're going to be turning 40. I'm going to be turning 50. I start getting down on myself. I'm like, you know what? I remember when I was 23, 110 pounds, and I felt fat on the beach. I was literally crying in the elevator one night. I felt so bad for my friends that they had to be seen with me. They're like, why are you crying? I'm like, I'm sorry you have to be seen with me. Like, how crazy. I look back, I was a gorgeous young thing.
yeah,
And now with different changes in my body and everything else, and I'm just as I start to go down this like, oh my God, more wrinkles. Should I go on GLP-1? Should I get Botox? I'm not doing any of those things. But then I go, you know what? 20 years from now, I'm going to look back and be like, man, I looked pretty good. You know,
exactly.
I was healthy. So why should I not fucking enjoy it now?
Yeah,
And it doesn't mean that I don't struggle with it. It doesn't mean that the thoughts don't come into our brain like, oof, wish I looked a little different or wish this fit a little different. Wear it anyway, do it anyway, enjoy it anyway, because you are going to look back and go, I should have enjoyed it even more.
amen.
All right, friends. Until next time, bye for now.